Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I really feel for the member, Sarah, having to interrupt such a wonderful discourse of whatever. Mr. Speaker.
Order. I did terminate the member's speech for being irrelevant. The member's invited me to do it very early to him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that direction. Can I begin by congratulating the Minister for bringing this bill to the House? I think it's actually, as a businessman, or certainly a former businessman, having dealt with Inland Revenue and all of the other government agencies, I think this is very welcome news. It doesn't surprise me that, as has been claimed from the other side of the House, that small businesses don't recognise the benefit to them of a bill like this, because often small businesses are mired in the day-to-day running of their businesses. They don't particularly think of these things and they don't recognise the benefit of them until they are actually upon them. Mr. Speaker, I have had experience with a business number, not in New Zealand, but with an Australian part that we had to deal with in my wine business, and having a business number over there absolutely made things a lot easier, and it seems to make it's nonsensical that we haven't had one up until now. So these little things that governments do from time to time, which may seem boring and not earth-shattering, but little things like those do make a difference, and they do move businesses forward, and those little parts in the New Zealand economy actually what drives New Zealand on. It's not the big businesses that we all like to, as important as they are to New Zealand's economy, it's the little businesses that impact on most people in New Zealand. And so it's incumbent upon us to allow them to be as efficient as possible. And this number will do that. And I think one of the big things with this bill is actually how they're going to maintain the register. And, Mr. Speaker, that register is going to be kept by the registrar appointed under the bill, and they will contain only business-related data, and certain primary business data contained on the register for the entity must be publicly available as follows, Mr. Speaker. In the case of a corporate or public entity, the data listed in Part 1 of Schedule 3, legal entity name, registered address, local identifier, New Zealand business number, start date, kind of entity, business status, for example, active or inactive, and any data prescribed by the regulations that the entity elects to make publicly available or that is otherwise available on a public register. In the case of an unincorporated entity, the data listed in Part 2 of Schedule 3, the location identifier, the business number, the start date, kind of entity, business status, for example, active or inactive, and any data prescribed by regulations that the entity elects to make publicly available. Now, that all sounds pretty mundane stuff, but I can assure you once you've filled out this information once, and then you have to do it again, and sometimes 4 or 5 times in a day, it can become pretty tiresome. And for a small business, and this will be rolled out to sole operators in time, it's going to make a tremendous difference and free them up to do what it is we as an economy want them to do, get on with business. Because that's what enables us to enjoy the lifestyle we do as a country, and enables us to pay have enough taxes to look after those people that can't look after themselves, something that many on the other side of the House claim to champion. Mr. Speaker, I note that there are already 1.1 million businesses that have a business number, so this has already begun. This bill simply enables it to be rolled out wider, and I think the small businesses are quite rightly the ones, as I said, that need to come on further with this. And it will enable us to build a more competitive and productive economy, which is something that we all benefit from, so I can't see anyone having any issue with that. Lifting business confidence is also part of the business growth agenda, which this all ties in very neatly with, and addresses issues that matter most to firms, and particularly building export markets, building capital markets, building innovation, building skilled and safe workplaces. Mr. Speaker, I note that this ties in also with the Financial Market Conduct Act, which allowed crowdfunding to come in under, and this all ties in with this business number, because actually that has been a great source of capital for small businesses, and they've been able to raise funds, in fact, up to $2 million that way, and it's great to be able to have all of this pulled into the bill, because the business number enables all of that information to be equally shared, and so I think that's really important. So it is very relevant. Labour market statistics show that self-employed businesses grew by nearly 35,000 in the year to December 2014. You think about that, it'd be at least one person. I don't know what the average size of SMEs is in terms of people involved with them, but I would think it would be 7 or 8 people in maximum, I think, and then down to, was it 20, I think, is it? And then right down to 1. But I would say it'd be 3 or 4 people, so that's a lot of people involved in those businesses. So a significant increase in the numbers involved in small to medium businesses. And a lot of small to medium businesses fail in their first year. I guess there's an element of Darwinian selection there, and that's as it should be, because not all businesses will survive. Absolutely, yeah. But it's a great thing to get these businesses up and running, and one of the things that new businesses often struggle with is the day-to-day management of their business, their data, filling in on all this information. So it really is a great step forward, this bill. And with our 3.5% GDP growth that we're running at the moment, it's enabling businesses to grow across the whole economy. And I'm sure that's something that the other side of the House will be delighted that we have a government that is focused on business, focused on growth, and focused on making those businesses be able to get as much profit out of it for their amount of work that they do. So, Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure on that note and all the support I'm getting from the other side of the House that I commend the bill to the House. Thank you.